As Bitcoin becomes more popular, the amount of energy needed to mine the digital currency is increasing rapidly. This is causing a negative environmental impact as traditional mining methods are becoming less viable. The negative environmental impact of Bitcoin mining is one of the hottest topics nowadays in the crypto space. Bitcoin mining requires a significant amount of electricity, and with the current mining rate, it's estimated that Bitcoin will use as much energy as the entire world by 2020. Not only is this bad for the environment, but it's also causing problems for electrical grids around the world. In this video, we'll explore the negative environmental impact of Bitcoin mining and what to do to mitigate it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon. So, what is Bitcoin mining? In a nutshell, it's the process of verifying Bitcoin transactions. Here's how it works. New Bitcoins are created as a reward for miners who verify transactions. Miners do this by solving complex mathematical problems. The first miner to solve the problem is rewarded with new Bitcoins, and this process is repeated every 10 minutes or so. But all this computational power takes its toll on the environment. Bitcoin mining uses a lot of energy, and this energy isn't always renewable. In fact, some estimates suggest that Bitcoin mining is responsible for as many greenhouse gas emissions as Austria. How to mine Bitcoin? Mining is the process of adding new transactions to the Bitcoin blockchain. It's a challenging job. Bitcoin miners use proof of work, in which computers compete to solve mathematical puzzles that validate transactions. To encourage miners to continue racing to solve puzzles and support the overall system, the Bitcoin code rewards them with 6.25 BTC for each new block. The average person could mine Bitcoin in the early days, but that is no longer the case. The Bitcoin code is intended to make solving its puzzles more difficult over time, necessitating an increasing amount of computing resources. Bitcoin mining today requires powerful computers and access to massive amounts of cheap electricity. Mining Bitcoin is also less profitable than it once was, making recouping rising computational and electrical costs even more difficult. One can mine Bitcoin with a variety of hardware and software. When Bitcoin was first released, it was possible to mine it competitively on a personal computer. However, as the network grew in popularity, more miners joined, decreasing the chances of being the one to solve the hash. If your computer has newer hardware, you can still mine, but your chances of solving a hash individually are extremely low. How much energy does Bitcoin consume? According to the Digiconomist's Bitcoin Energy Consumption Index, one Bitcoin transaction consumes 1,382.96 kilowatt-hours or roughly 47.40 days of power for the average US household. In terms of money, the average cost per kilowatt-hour in the United States is close to 12 cents. That means that a Bitcoin transaction would result in a $166 energy bill. According to the Bitcoin Energy Consumption Index, Bitcoin mining consumes roughly the same amount of energy as Argentina, and at that annualized level of 128.45 terawatt-hours, crypto mining would rank among the top 30 countries in terms of energy consumption. Bitcoin mining consumed the most energy at the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022, consuming more than 200 terawatt-hours. Mining Bitcoin has a negative environmental impact because it requires a lot of energy to power the computers that are used to mine Bitcoin. This is because Bitcoin is based on a proof of work system, which means that miners need to use a lot of processing power to solve complex mathematical problems in order to earn rewards. The more people who mine Bitcoin, the more energy it takes to power the computers that are doing the mining, and this is having a negative effect on the environment. So, what's the big deal with Bitcoin mining and the environment? It all comes down to the amount of energy needed to power all those computers that are used to mine Bitcoin. And, unfortunately, a lot of that energy is derived from fossil fuels, which leads to high levels of carbon dioxide emissions. Not only that, but all that mining takes place in China, where lax environmental regulations allow for some pretty horrific practices. For example, a lot of the mining takes place in areas where water is scarce, and that water is then used to cool the computers. All in all, Bitcoin mining is having a significant impact on global warming. It's something we need to take into account as we move forward with this technology. There are a few ways that you can help reduce the negative environmental impact of Bitcoin mining. One is to use renewable energy to power your mining operation. This can be anything from solar panels to wind turbines. Another thing you can do is opt for energy-efficient Bitcoin mining hardware. There are a number of different options out there, so it's important to do your research before you make a purchase. You can also reduce the amount of energy your miners consume by using cooler temperatures. For example, if you're based in a hot climate, try moving your miners to a cooler location. Finally, make sure you're recycling the energy used by your miners. This includes both the electricity and the heat generated by the miners. So what to do to make Bitcoin mining more sustainable? For starters, the process needs to be more energy efficient. Right now, the amount of energy that goes into Bitcoin mining is staggering. But it's not just about the energy consumption. The environmental impact of Bitcoin mining needs to be taken into account as well. For example, the use of coal in Bitcoin mining is causing serious damage to the environment. It's clear that something needs to do if we want Bitcoin mining to be more sustainable. But it's not going to be easy. The technology needs to be more energy efficient, and the mining process needs to be more environmentally friendly. Are we up for the challenge? You might not know this, but Bitcoin mining is extremely energy intensive. In fact, it's estimated that the energy used to mine Bitcoin is equivalent to the amount of energy used in Ireland in a year. That's a lot of energy, and a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. So what can we do to reduce this impact? There are a few things. Use renewable energy whenever possible. If you're using a desktop computer, don't use it to mine Bitcoin. Try not to use electricity when the grid is at its most strained. Lobby your government and businesses to invest in renewable energy. So what is the conclusion? Bitcoin mining is a process that requires large amounts of energy. This energy is used to power the computers that are used to solve complex mathematical problems in order to mine new Bitcoin. The mining of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies has become so popular that it is now using more energy than in some countries. The mining of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is not only bad for the environment but is also causing global warming. The amount of energy that is being used to mine Bitcoin could be used to help prevent global warming. You can help prevent the negative environmental impact of Bitcoin mining by not using cryptocurrency. You can also help by donating to organizations that are working to prevent global warming. If you like this video, then subscribe to this channel. Our channel is new, so we need your support. Please visit the blog, Web3 ABCD, to get all latest updates on cryptocurrencies.